Woohoo! Welcome everybody to today's live show here on Hex Token channel. I'm your host, Superman, of course. Sometimes I don't often say that, but I'm going to say it today. There we are, folks. I often get asked in the chat, but there we are. That's my moniker online, so I hope you enjoy that one. And of course, we're going to get into a good show today. We're going to cover 4 topics. Obviously, we're starting with the Hex because there's some really cool news today for Hex. We're going to then jump on to liquid loans, which is obviously the big sacrifice in the house at the moment. And of course, reaching massive milestones here on day 10, the last day before earlier pays better starts rising by 5% per day. Remember, we've done basically closing in on 10 days. It is 30 days long. The next 20 days is going to rise by 5%. So we're going to get into that. Then we're going to cover over onto Pulsechain, and we're going to do the updated timeline and talk about that. And then finally, we're going to finish off with Hedron. So those are our 4 big topics, folks. Hex, liquid loans, Pulsechain, and then Hedron. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. We'll probably be touching on 1 or 2 other little things from time to time too as we go. So we'll keep that for later on as a surprise. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy yourself. Get into the chat, say hello. We love the community. That's what it's all about. And of course, it's not just the in game, the pumps. It's also the journey on the way, as I always say on this channel. We're going to have a lot of fun for sure. So let's get into it, folks. Let's get into the chat, say hello, and see what's going on here. We've got Brownie in the house. Fish Tank was number 1 again. Man, what a legend there. And of course, we've got Brownie in the house. Woohoo! Second, waiting for Fish Tank to be first. Nice one there, Brownie. That's great courtesy there. We've got Craig in the house as well. Craig's in the house. We've also got Brownie says 1st of March, when testnet version 3. We're going to talk about that later on. That's our 3rd topic, is the Pulsechain timeline. We'll talk about that later. Tara says 1st of March. Nice. Yeah, it is the 1st of March. And of course, man, February went so quick. Only 28 days. Crazy stuff. Tara says, for me, that's in 1 hour. That's in 1 hour. Nice one, Tara. I like that perspective. And of course, here it is. We're on the 1st of March here in New Zealand, 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So there we are. Daylight savings still on. So still quite sunny and warm. And Tafron says, got the money bags in there with the rockets. Awesome. As far as in the house, Hex Token channel member. And of course, looking good there with the emojis as well. We've got Tafron in there. Let me just double check my audio's up and running before I talk too much. Let's go in here. Sounds like it's going okay here. That sounds good to me. All right, so cool. We're going to get into the rest of the chat. I just forgot that I've got a poll running. Can you believe it? And of course, have you sacrificed for liquid loans and or minted a Hedron? We've got yes, completed both of those. We've got just completed liquid loan sacrifice, just did either claiming or minting on Hedron. And of course, the 4th category is you plan to do that soon. So we'll see what the results are at the end. 27 votes already. That's fantastic, folks. Get into the vote on that. I love these polls. It gives us all good of a shared idea of what some of the community is thinking. So it's going to be good to see, or thinking or doing, I should say. It's going to be good to see those results. Hexforce says, what's up, everybody? Woo-hoo-hoo. Love it. Love the attitude. And, of course, Sandeep's in the house. Have a great day ahead. So Sandeep, all the way from Calcutta, India. Big shout-out to Sandeep. And Pulsation Nation says, hello, Hexicans and fellow members of the nation. Absolutely. That's probably a good point. Pulsation Nation says, really get out there and spread the word about Pulsechain, about Hex and Pulsex. Really get the word out into the other communities. Now is the time to start spreading the word and really doing what you can to play a role in promoting your own investment and what we all know is going to be the biggest thing in crypto this year. So just get out there and spread the word. I just encourage you all to do that. Obviously, I'm doing that on this channel day in and day out, but everybody can play a huge part just by telling a friend, family member, by telling people in other groups. When you get the chance, just get out and do that. You can also go a step further, of course, and get out and maybe start an Instagram or Twitter account and get out doing that as well. So there's lots of different ways, easy ways and more forward ways that you can do that. So I encourage you to get out there, folks. Very, very cool. Human Hex Trafficker says, what up, family? Hey, Human Hex Trafficker, good to see you. We've got the smiley face. Mike Masalowski's in the house. Hey, yo. Hey, good to see you, Mike. And good morning, says MJ Money too. Good evening, friends. Hey all, says Mike. Great to see a couple of new faces in the chat there. Sounds good, says Mike. Nice. And HODL generations in there. Woo-hoo-hoo. So if you're wondering what the woo-hoo-hoo is, folks, that is our channel anthem here on Hex Token channel. Bizology says, hi, everybody. Strong prices today. Strong prices? Yeah, strong prices. Yeah, strong prices today for sure. Audio is perfect, says Tafron. Woo! Nice one. And Mike says, it's never too late to be early. Absolutely. And bonjour to all Namir, says Jean Franchou Boxu. Hopefully I say that, get better and better at saying that, Jean. That's the way to go. So big shout out. Obviously, our prayers go out there into the Ukraine, and of course to Russia as well. We always look for peace and some sort of political decision making. So and of course safety for those people out there. Mustn't forget that. Plus, of course, as you know, freedom in the West is under challenge, under attack. We also stand up for freedom everywhere as well. That's this channel. Nice one. Terrapin's got the crybabies on. I'm not sure that's going in there, Terrapin. And Voo says easy. Nice one. That's a little variation there. So cool. Let's get into it, folks. That's welcome, everybody. Let's go. First topic, hex.com. This is where it all began. This is where it's going to continue to journey on. Of course, max stakes are 15 years long. People are in this for a long period of time. And, of course, it is the best financial product on the planet. The other thing, of course, is that obviously it was the best chart for most of 2020 and most of 2021. And I'm sure it's going to get back up there again this year as we get two things happening. Virality, retail virality, and, of course, big investors coming in through the likes of investment trusts, billionaires, high wealthy investors, and many more things like that. So we're looking forward to that. So here we are, hex.com. Let's jump over to the next page. We're going to jump over to what is the big news today is that the T-share rate hit 21,000. This is not relenting, folks. This is not relenting. Let us jump back. Let's say go back 30 days. Let's go back 30 days. So this is 10 days a page. So we're going to jump back to 30 days. We were at 20,692, folks. So that was the 30th of January. And look, we're already up about 300 from that. So in 30 days, we went up 300 hex more is required per T-share. Obviously, you can longer pace better. We covered that yesterday's video. But wow, this is climbing fast. Do you see how this is going to catch out a lot of those Hex OGs that are short staking? There's a certain class of Hex OG that's got quite large amounts of Hex, but they're just staking it monthly or every 2 months, something like that, or 3 monthly, just in that short range, say 1 to 3 months, sometimes even shorter, 2 weeks. And of course, they keep rolling it over. They take the interest, which is good, all the best of them. That's what Hex is designed for. But they are getting diluted. So that is the way it's going. That's what's beautiful about the share price. It makes it really a fair, the first fair investment for staking on the blockchain. So very, very exciting to see that. 21,000. Congrats, everybody. Obviously, we're heading up towards 22,000. It's better to stake Hex today than it will be in another month's time. It will be even more expensive to get a T-share. And of course, there'll be less T-shares over time. And of course, that reward pool is going to keep going up in the sense. So the people who've got the T-shares are going to earn the inflation in Hex. And of course, the penalties. I just said again, the penalties will rise with the price of Hex in US dollar terms as people are early in unstake. Those who are staking past those early in stakes as the price rises will collect 50% of those penalties. It's going to be a beautiful payout on top of the inflation that you get. So pretty awesome stuff. All right, so I just wanted to get onto that. That is the magic of Hex. And of course, those are the highlights there. Let's jump over the Hex price now. And of course, let's see where we're at. So we're currently at 14.36 cents. This is kind of a godsend, right? If you're wanting to pick up a lot of Hex, now the price is looking really good. The Pulsechain's around the corner. And so here we are. Look at this, the 14.3 cents. Good time to pick up. I have actually purchased Hex 3 times in the last few days. So there we are. I've been accumulating my position in the last 3 days. And that's probably as much as I talk about that. But that's what I've been doing. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome in the road ahead. The other thing, of course, let's have a look at the actual candles today. We've got a pretty tiny daily candle so far today. The high is at 14.6 cents and the low is at 14.16. And we're currently in the middle of that approximately. So that's pretty awesome. Obviously, we've got a little while to go for that day's end. Yesterday, of course, we had a high of 15 cents just about and a low of 13.8. So there we are. But we did actually end up having a pretty good day. The day before that, we're up at 17.8. Obviously, there's a bot trade on there with the spike, but we did pretty well at 16 cents on that day. So a little nice play here. The other thing, of course, is that the crypto market has decided to break with the stock market. The stock market decided to have another day down, but the crypto market has decided to have a big day up. And what a massive jump for Bitcoin. Taking over the role of gold. Is Peter Schiff in trouble? Is Richard Hart going to conquer even with Bitcoin, not even without Hex? And of course, the crypto just bounced back and acted like a security, like gold. And so obviously, as we always say, you can trade your gold. It's pretty easy. You can't trade your gold very easy. Sorry, you can trade your crypto and your Bitcoin and your Hex pretty easy, right? So that was pretty fascinating to see that. We're going to check that out shortly. But that's kind of the price at the moment. Let's check out the TA at the moment. That's the technical analysis. We've got the Bollinger Bands in blue. And of course, the bottom 5% is the bottom 5% of the price range. And the top, the blue band is the top 95%. You can see the bottom there is sitting at 12.1 cents. And the top there is sitting at 22.6 cents. So we've got the middle there with the red line that's 50% mark and of prices, and that's sitting at 17.4 cents. We're currently in the middle of that the bottom in the middle there between 12.1 and 17.4. So that's where we're tracking at the moment. But you know Hex can do magical things in a short space of time. So we're waiting for that to play out too. Let's bring over the structure. Let's add that in, and we're going to bring the structure in there. I forgot the structure there. Have I deleted all my structure? Hey, it looks like I've deleted all my structure. Can you believe it? That's insane. Really? I must have accidentally deleted all my... How could I do that? How could I do that? Oh, well, we haven't got the structure today, folks. Somehow I deleted it all. I'll have to reset that all up. But we're holding pretty cool. Let me add in a few lines while I'm here. Just get the basic idea here. Can't believe it. I must have somehow... I've deleted my structure. How can you believe that at this stage? So cool. That's our base, right? Of course, you know, that we were talking about 12.6 cents, somewhere in there. We've bounced off all that stuff. And of course, we've got our resistance. Let's put that in too. We're going to go to the top of this candle all the way down to here. We'll put that in. Bam. And we'll scroll that over there. We're going to keep that going all the way down there. And of course, let's see that we'll put this all the way over here. So obviously, we're wanting to break out of here. We've got our short-term one that we want to break out of. That's going from this point down through this point here. I guess we've got that point now, so you have to forget the arrows on there, but that's what we've got at the moment. We want to break out of here. So let's get another little candle. We're going to put this green, of course, and let's make that green. And there we are. All right, so we've got this green candle. That's probably what we're waiting to see out. We're going to break out of this first resistance line here. That's probably a little bit far, actually. Let's put the resistance line there. So we did spike out of that, but that was a bike trade, a bot trade. So we really want to break out of this here. Something like that, and of course then we want to break out of this line up here at the moment, which is, you know, in the early 20s, about 22 25 cents, somewhere in that mark, and break out of that as well. Obviously this will be a big deal depending on when you think the actual Pulsechain testnet 3 and mainnet are coming, and of course the block height. Those are the big three things that we're waiting to see what play out, and everyone's questioning that. We're going to talk more about that later on with the Pulsechain timeline. That's the basic idea. Let's jump out of there and we'll go to the DMI, and I've lost all the structure there too. So we've got at the moment, we've got really nice, getting some nice action here with the buyers. This is a really nice pushback. So I'm definitely been getting a bit bullish. I said that yesterday's video, and I think I said it yesterday, today's video. If I didn't say it yesterday, I definitely said it today in today's daily video, that I just have a feeling that the Hex is almost ready to go. And of course, we're getting a nice little pushback in price in this price direction here. The sellers have come down a bit as well. And of course, the momentum's pulling back a little bit too with the sellers going up there. So we're definitely going to want to watch this. We want to see the buyers here in the green. We want to see that obviously go up there. And of course, we want the sellers here in red to go down there. And of course, we'll make that a nice red there, I guess. Not quite the same color as it. I like to be color coded there. So we've got the red there. And of course, we want the momentum to stay up here and stay over 25. So something like that. It's likely to come down a bit though, and something like that. But we'll just put that there for simplicity and make that orange there. Cool. All right, so that's kind of what we want to see at the moment, and we're getting a bit of it. This is a pretty strong buyback there, and we'll just watch that in the next few days ahead. I really feel like we're getting into some point here where it's about to break. That could be the next day or two. So maybe, yeah, so probably a day or two there in that little triangle there. Only a few days left in that room. And then that would be positive and more likely to move up than down. So cool. All right, so that's a bit of a price review there. Let's jump over to the crypto market. Man, oh man, is this looking super good. Look at these return up 14% on Bitcoin. That is a super bullish move. And of course, is it a bit of a dead cat bounce? I don't think so. I think it's actually a pretty strong move under these conditions with the Ukraine. I think that's a pretty strong move, to be honest. I know that some traders and that don't want to leverage up, especially on Ethereum. but I think that this is, not too bad on that. So we've got the full timeline. You can see our double top that we've had in Bitcoin, and then we've had the pullback here. How big is this going to be? Are we going to get something else? Are we going to get a triple top? That'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Obviously, the market conditions are pretty make that unlikely. But we could get a nice little move on here, maybe up to 46 or something like that. So we'll see how we go with the Bitcoin price there. But man, what a move! And will the market decide, hey, maybe Bitcoin's a better gold? Will we finally get it moving from a speculative asset into a security asset, a risk off asset where it's got that security and it moves under both conditions, moves under risk off and risk on? That'd be pretty amazing, right? So pretty cool. Remember I said the other day, we've got the Hart's Law here. It gives us some protection against Bitcoin and Ethereum with the fact that it's the 85% of Hex is in USD, but it doesn't above that principle or rule or whatever you want to call it, is the risk off and risk on. And basically anything geopolitical or major financial crisis issue affects just about every market except for maybe commodity, depending on the timing, maybe commodities, maybe gold and other certain precious metals, and of course the US dollar. So we tend to see that also bond markets, bond market prices yields tend to rise. And we saw that the 10-year bond market went over 2%. So you sort of see that's when we get that risk-off type of situation. Now, can Bitcoin also perform well in that condition as well? Maybe it gets shocked at first. Maybe is it going to get some resolve, some strength there? We know there's a lot of institutions buying Bitcoin. We know that that's really started penetrating the corporates. It's still early days in my view too on that front. But we know that because the New York Stock Exchange has got access to all the corporates now and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty fascinating to see this play out. And can it move to 46 and hold itself up there for a long time? That's going to be pretty positive. So yeah, exciting times, to be honest, for the old markets there. So pretty cool surprise there. I was actually stoked when I saw that recovery. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And let's go. Oh, we'll jump away from that. Let's go back to the full chart there. Ethereum, of course, is not over 3K, and that is because it seems like there are people a bit hesitant into the markets in terms of leveraging to leverage and put the price over 3K at this stage. Maybe they're a bit doubtful of where this is going, but Bitcoin made a big move, and I suspect that Ethereum will blow past that 3,000 if Bitcoin holds it up here. 43, that's a huge, huge move. And man, oh man, let's actually go back into that chart again on Bitcoin, and let's just zoom in on the time frame, and we'll do 1 day. And look at this. So we were down here at 38, and we just jumped up. 38 went to, this is in 1 day. This is one day chart here, folks. 38 went to 4,800, and then it went up to all the way up to 43,745. That's amazing move in a 24-hour space. Really is awesome stuff. So that's 5.5. That's around about 5,000, just under $5,000 increase. That's amazing result there. Really is super duper good. And of course, got to hold it there, right? It's got to hold it there and stay there. And that would go to show some real strength in there. But man, oh man, what a surprise. What a surprise to wake up to on the old crypto markets there. And of course, the stock market was still going down. Crypto market went up. Beautiful thing. That's so good for crypto and particularly Bitcoin leading the way there. We know it is kind of towards Bitcoin season as opposed to altcoin season at the moment. So a nice strong Bitcoin is good for the rest of crypto. And that's regardless of the Hart's Law. It's just a generally positive thing that people have. They've got assets. Those assets are valued at reasonably good prices, and they have income, and they've got the economies are reasonably secure. People have got jobs and income. Those two things together help push up the price. Obviously, sitting in behind that, of course, is the monetary supply by the Fed. Obviously, we're still running into March now, 1st of March, running into the Fed's decisions on interest rate coming out, so there'll still be volatility this month, okay, especially with that. We've been getting little signals that's going to be a bit softer, and that's the way we want it to be, the Fed to be a bit softer on the interest rates, maybe just two interest rate rises this year, not 4. I think because there's so much leverage out there as well, that these they'll only have a certain impact on inflation. Inflation looks like it's going to keep going past 7.5%. So if let's say they manage to do four interest rate rises, that might be 2%. 7.5 minus 2 is 5.5%. Inflation is still very high, and of course we're expecting that to be higher and persisting as well. So we've still got to be careful this year. There is a lot of volatility. Will BTC act as start be treated as a gold type product? So perform well in both risk on and risk off. We're going to be interested to see that for sure. Anything barring economic meltdown, I think we're looking pretty good there. So that's probably my wrap up there. Let me know in the chat what you think about that. We're going to jump on to liquid loans next, but let's see what's going on in the chat. And let's have a look here. So I think I scroll way far down to there. Let's go in here. We've got EZ and we've got DHEX in there reporting for dirty camaraderie. Hey, nice one. That's some pretty nice variation there. Brazil says I just want Pulsechain to launch. I think a lot of people want want Pulsechain to launch now. So I think a lot of people are getting exhausted from that. Obviously, the Pulsechain sacrifice was between the 15th of July and the 3rd of August last year. And of course, it was announced many months before that. So people are getting a little fatigued with that one. Pulsechain Nation says, hurry, Pulsechain, hurry indeed. And Rogelio is in the house. This is Rojo from the Vegas question. It's true that we can stake our Pulse X, and can we do it already or not yet? Not yet, Rogelio. Not until Pulsechain launches and Pulse X is up and running. We're going to talk about that later, and when we get up to our third topic, which is Pulsechain timeline. Tin Top's in the house. Hex Token channel member. What's up, Hexagons? I love it. And Sam says hi with the emojis. Love it. Sam, also a Hex Token channel member. T says the T-share on both ETH and Pulse will outperform on both Pulse and Pulse X from launch day through the first 5 years. I think it's going to be a very impressive T. It's going to take a lot of people off guard with the T-share and the T-share price as well. Obviously, the T-share price is a function of both the T-share rate, which we know is going up and to the right, and of course the price of Hex. So if Hex has a big rally, we're going to smash the previous all-time. We saw that yesterday. The all-time was around about $9,300 per T-share. At the moment, you can get it for about $3,000, and which is a steal. But when the price of Hex recovers quickly, then that T-share price goes up dramatically. So it could go from $3,000 to $12,000, $13,000 in a heartbeat in a very short space of time. So just take that into account. T-share prices may not come down once they get to a certain price level, under reasonable market conditions. So just take that into account. Some food for thought there. Pulsechain says, I predicted a pump after the sacrifice by the 1st of March and everything else in the market pumped. Lol. Yeah, Pulsechain, that's what it's like sometimes. It's maybe that's how maybe it's all got deleted off Pulsechain because maybe it had your price prediction in there. Francia says, hello. And we got Pulsechain says, do you sacrifice liquid loans or claim your Hedron? I'm talking about Francia. And 3-6 in the house. Yup, Saul. Hey, good to see you. And welcome everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And of course, this channel, the Hex Token channel, is all about Richard Hart Maxi stuff. We do talk about other projects that support the ecosystem. Pulsechain is designed to have projects on it, but the projects that we particularly like are projects that are really quite revolutionary, really support the Pulse, the Pulse, the Hex, and the Pulse X. That's what we're really after. And of course, if you don't have to sell Pulse, if you don't have to sell Hex, and you can do other things with new dApps, we love that sort of stuff. So very cool. A1's in the house and says, hi, Hex man. I hit the likes, peeps. Yeah, definitely hit the likes there. And let's go. Don't you love the green page? I love it. It's beautiful and green. We love green. Let's decorate the world with green. That's so cool. All right, so nice. Let's jump on to the second topic, liquid loans. Woohoo! Let's do a refresh because this is updating so fast today. I have been doing updates on the community tab, as you guys might have seen already. I'm doing it regularly just so that everyone gets the max benefit there. And the other thing, of course, is that, man, what huge milestone. Do you remember we did a poll, was it a week ago, with how much would be sacrificed? And, of course, that's over a 30-day period, but we're already up into that third category. So the people that voted for that are doing pretty well at this stage. Of course, I think this was 15 million, and then the next one was 30 million, then over 30 million. I think those were our categories. So we're already in the third category. Pretty amazing. So $33 million, man, that's crazy good. And 414,395. So $33,414,395. So cool. Finally got that out of my mouth there. We've got total wallets at 6,883. It's crazy numbers, right? So 6,000. Now we've got the estimated token supply at the moment, 830 billion loan tokens, 830 billion loan tokens at the moment. Now, if you take the total dollar sacrificed, you divide it by the loan amount of tokens, you get a price of 0.0004 and just slightly above that. So quadruple 0.04 is the price level at the moment on the average for that. Now, this is the big number, of course. There are 3 components to getting sacrifice points. Earlier pays better, bigger pays better, and longer pays better. Those 3 components. Now, the first one, earlier pays better. that is the bonding curve, which is about to go up in 7 hours and 24 minutes. I'm actually probably going to do a special live stream tonight covering the last hour as we move into the end there, covering the stats. So if you see me pop out again on another live stream later on today for this special occasion, I think this is going to be a lot of action and fireworks in the last hour. I think we've already had a lot of fireworks just in the last 3 hours. The balance has gone up rapidly. We were sitting at 28 million just a few hours ago. We're now at 33.4. The big fish are already playing. And of course, we're going to be watching that. So I'll probably end up coming on for a special live stream, maybe for about an hour's time, running out the final period this in 7 hours and 24 minutes. So definitely join me for that if you're up, depending on where you are around the world. So pretty awesome stuff there. So you got 7 hours, 24 minutes until the price goes up from 10,000 points for earlier pays better. From $1 for 10,000 points up to $1.05 for 10,000 points. So you're going to get that 5% cheaper. The only way to offset that is by longer pays better. But once again, if you do sacrifice today, then you'll get the longer pays better anyway. If you're going to do that anyway, you're going to get the more maximized points there. So pretty cool. Now, if you have done a sacrifice course, you can put your sacrifice in this address. I'm going to paste this in the chat there, just in case you want to check this out. Save it to your favorites. This is the Hex Pulse Sacrifice. So you can see these results here too. So you can check that out. So if you do sacrifice, you can paste your address in here and show your details. That's pretty cool, and you can see all the details there. Now we're up to the top 500 sacrifices. Man, this has moved around a lot. Woo-hoo-hoo, since yesterday. This is very different. Okay, we've still got the Hex Godwell at number 1 with 231 billion tokens. So massive amount of supply. I don't know, over 30%, something like that, maybe 30%. It's probably less than 30% now because we've had so much sacrifice. And of course, then we've got the Magic Carpet Ride team. So this is a pool or syndicate of people around the world that get together and sacrifice together so that they can get the bigger pays better bonus and any referral bonus on top of that. So pretty awesome stuff. Now, they are doing really well. Of course, they're doing multiple different sacrifice projects. They did Pulsechain. They're doing liquid loans now. They're also going to be doing internet money and other sacrifice things. So they're obviously setting up for that. They're growing pretty big. I said the YouTube channel the other day was 4,000. I think it's 3,300 at the moment, but that's growing fast. They're also on Telegram. It's led by 2 Australian guys, really nice guys. And of course, they'll get that looks like what they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing a pooled sacrifice and sacrificing in that regard there. So cool. They're sitting at here. They were sitting at just over 3 million yesterday. If you remember when we did this live show yesterday, they are now at 5.3 million. And of course, can they outdo the Hex Godwell? And then if they can, will the Hex Godwell respond? I believe the Hex Godwell will respond because this is the bigger pays better bonus between 1 and 2.5. So the Hex Godwell will want to keep that top spot there. And of course, if we jump into Hex Godwell, we can see what those bonus points are worth. They're worth a lot. So we can go up to the top here. We can get an estimated volume bonus multiplier somewhere between 2.23 and 2.5. So really, they've got the big end of the big payday bonus bigger pays better bonus. Boy, you get tongue tied sometimes, but they're getting the top end of the bigger pays better bonus. So pretty awesome. So the Magic Carpet Ride team or pool will definitely be tracing that down because it's a big difference. Let's see what they're getting at the moment. They have increased it dramatically. They've added over $2 million today. And of course, they've moved up there. So they're getting between 1.99. So if you think of 1 to 2.5, they're 1.99 to 2.23. Of course, what a massive difference it would make if they can get over the Hex Godwell. It'd be outstanding if they can do that. And man, so this is just not just a normal sacrifice. This is probably the best competitive sacrifice we've seen. It is pretty awesome stuff because this is how there's a lot of tokens online there, a lot of ownership there. Very cool. Now remember, the Hex Godwell is not getting its tokens until 2 years later. So it's banking on a 2-year time frame because it always plays the long time frame. The Hex Godwell. That's how it's become so wealthy because it rides through all the price fluctuations in the market, and of course that's where it's got to now. No, so pretty cool. So we're going to see these games play out, and of course, this might all happen in the last hour. So we might see that tonight. So do join me for the next live. We're going to have a special live covering the last hour of day 10. And of course, after that, the early pays better goes up by 5%. That all matters. If you think about all those percentage bonuses, they all add up and they all matter. It's all volume. Because if you have price move up and you've got more volume, then you're going to do more. You're going to be even better, aren't you? You're going to do even better. So that's why this is happening at the moment. So a lot of drama there. But you thought that was cool with the Magic Carpet Ride team. So we're going to watch them all today. If they're going to sacrifice, they're going to try and sacrifice as much as they can today. And of course, let's go in to see what they actually did today. And if we can go down to the 1st of March down here, so we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sacrifices today for the Magic Carpet Ride team. And of course, some pretty decent numbers as well. So they've done, what have they done here? They've done BUSD 5,000 BUSD. They've done 688,000 USD on Ethereum. They've done 467,000 USDC on Ethereum. They've done Binance Smart Chain. They've done 399,000 BUSD on Binance Smart Chain. 238,000 BUSD Binance Smart Chain. 16,000 on BSD on blockchain. So those are all added up, and basically it was over $2 million. And wow, it really has pushed the game around and changed. So nice stuff there. I expect the Hex God World to respond if these guys are able to achieve a higher multiplier. Now they obviously have 20 days ahead to do that as well. So it's going to be game on. I do believe that the Magic Carpet Ride team will outdo this amount from the Hex Goldwell, and I do believe that the Hex Goldwell will have to respond. Man, I'm excited about this. This is so fun. See, I say it's not just about the end game, it's also about the journey. And man, this is a lot of fun to watch this. So we may have to wait for Pulsechain to come. Obviously, we want the software to be working perfectly, and we want the launch to be fantastic because it's going to be the biggest launch in cryptocurrency history, not just for this year, but from all time. It's going to be the biggest deal on the planet. So it's good to have something fun like this to watch as we wait. Very, very cool. And that also serves a productive function supporting Pulsechain itself as a kind of a bank lending facility, which we will need for Pulsechain. And of course, that will also help to pump up the Richard Hart tokens, PulseX, and of course, Hex. It's going to be pretty beautiful. Right, so here's the third big thing that happened today. So much happened today. It's just crazy. Third thing is we had a third millionaire come into the game. And of course, we've now got 5 millionaires in the game now. And of course, if we hit number 3, we can see the sacrifices here. They're getting a multiplier between 1.94 and 1.99. Because these guys have come in, they've moved all the bigger pays better relatives. So if you've gone in at one point, you have probably dropped down now because of all these big whales coming in. So that's the impact there. And of course, they have sacrificed 3 things today, all USDC, all on Ethereum and USD Tether. So they did 162,000, 813,000 USDC. And of course, they did 79,000 USD Tether. So big stuff there. They did a mixture here. So they've got a certain amount they're getting instantly. They've got a certain amount that they're going to delay for 72. So 72, I'm trying to think of what that is actually. So 150, that's 12 months approximately. I think it's 12 months. And 150%, which means they've delayed these tokens for 2 years, like the Hex Godwell has. Pretty awesome. They've got 3.5% of supply at the moment. And of course, they've got a longer pays better bonus of 8.3 billion loan tokens. So pretty awesome stuff. Estimated award at the moment, 29 billion loan tokens. Amazing. And of course, ranked number 3 at just over $1 million and 55,000. 55. I noticed there's 4 5s in there. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but that's pretty cool to see that as well. So pretty awesome stuff. Let's just come back in the Magic Carpet Ride team, see what their totals are at the moment. They've got 20. Their longer pays better is 25.7 billion loan tokens on the longer pays better. They've also got a total of 138.9 billion loan tokens, and they've got 16.72% of the supply. And let's go to the Hex Godwell there. I didn't read these numbers out before, but we'll read them now. They've got 89.7 billion loan tokens coming out in 2 years' time. And of course, they've got the total amount of 231.2 billion. And of course, they've got 27.83. Now, they were up at about 30. What they up at? No, they're up about 42% of total supply. They're now down to 27.3%. So amazing stuff there. That, folks, is our top leaderboard with the big whales. Let's jump to the end, to our top 50. We'll jump to the end there and check this out. This is going to be really, really cool. And of course, here we are, $6,000. Whoa. The minimum to get in the top 500 now is $6,000. to get in the top 500. That is so cool. Let's see. They're going to get 81. They're all different depending on whether someone you can sacrifice $6,000, but are you getting longer pays better? Are you waiting for your tokens in 2 years' time, or are you doing a sacrifice ladder, or are you getting all your tokens today? That makes a big difference on your rewards because you get 2.5x times or 150% more loan tokens if you delay for 2 years. You get 6% more per month. And then, of course, 12% on the last month, month 24. If you delayed all the way out there, of course, that's 150% or 2.5x on your volume. Pretty big deal. Let's have a look at the bottom one here, number 500, 6,000. Let's see what they're doing. We're going to open that up. So they've got two sacrifices, $3,000 and $3,003. Now, remember, the cents is what determines your longer pays better delay. So longer pays better. So this is 3 cents means 3 months, right? So 3 cents means 3 months. That means they're getting 3 times 6%, and that is 0.18. So that's 18% there. That's how that reads. And of course, they will get a longer pays better bonus of 5.4 million loan token points there. So pretty cool. They're getting quite a bit of their stuff. So they've got $3,000 is for now. So they're doing a split strategy. They're getting half of it now and half of it in 2 years' time. That's pretty much how it works. So pretty cool. These guys, different strategies people taking. Some people will also do a sacrifice ladder. In other words, they might do every single month. They might do a sacrifice. Maybe they're doing $500 a month. Every month they get a bit of that point, sort of levering out. When their tokens come out, they can put it onto the platform, start earning the fees, USDL, PLS, etc. Is pretty cool there. So nice. So this number 5 here is 0.01% of total supply. They're getting 5.4 million total bonus there, 81.6 million loan tokens there. Nice. And a multiplier. So the multiplier here is 1.269. That's what they're getting, 1.269 to do $6,000, and obviously this to rank up there. So pretty interesting stuff there. Gives you a good idea of what you might earn. If you're doing something like $500, which is the minimum to make your referral qualify, you'll probably get about 1.03 or something like that. So that's kind of the basic level there, 1.03 on the bigger pays better bonus there. So cool. That is our top 500, folks. Pretty awesome. I do wish that this site had some averages and things like that, but it doesn't have them. So we'll just have to move forward from that. So here is the charts. Of course, charts are, charts say, what's the picture says, 1,000 words or something. So we're just slowly ticking up here. Day number 10, February 28th. Amazing. The last day of earlier pays better before it starts rising by 5%. And we're currently at 33.5 million US dollars. Amazing on that. And of course, let's have a look at the sacrifice US dollar value. This is on both chains. Remember, you can sacrifice stable coins either on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. And of course, this is the red one is Ethereum at 29.6 million and Binance Smart Chain up at $3.9 million. So amazing stuff. The total 33.5 million. Very cool. All right, so let us go into sacrifice volumes. Now, this is the third component, longer pays better. And of course, this has been amazing. Look at this. $14.3 million is delayed for 2 years. 2 years. I think this has been a huge success, this feature, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see other projects using it. It really is a big success there. Obviously, you need to have a good product. You need to have good marketing. You need to have good amount of community following you and supporting your project to get these sort of results. It's a very big deal. As I said to you guys, if you haven't got really clever tokenomics and a clever product, then you also, if you haven't got that, you also need a big community. That's why Richard Hart's projects are the best of the best. Pulsechain, Pulsechain, Hex, you've got the giant communities and they're only growing faster and faster. And of course, your probability of success is so much higher when you have a huge investor audience and one that's only going to grow and grow and grow. So that's why I always say Richard Hart Maxi projects, number one. If you want to get yourself into some other projects, just maybe allocate, make sure they're very good, and then allocate just a certain percentage of your portfolio because the main game is in the Richard Hart projects without a doubt. So, and you want to keep that probability of success high as well. So cool. All right, so this is looking good there. $14.3 million, amazing. And of course, you got lots of other people sacrificing every month. So this is a 12-month candle of $1.7 million for 12 months. People are delaying for 1 year their loan tokens. Remember, while they're delaying, they get the bonuses for delay. A longer pays better, up to 150%, but they don't get to put the tokens into the platform and earn the PLS and USDL fees and things like that. So just remember that. The 6 months here is at 560,000. We've got 3 months here at 462. So you can kind of see people's strategies. You got the 3 month, the 6 month, the 12 months, and the 24 months are the most popular. So that's if you're wondering what people's strategies are in terms of delay, this is where they're delaying, of course. Now, typically when you do a staking ladder, you can stake between the big candles. So you could do something similar for here. You could get your loan tokens between the big candles. That might be a strategy for you if you want to get them out when there's not a lot of supply coming into the market. Very cool. Now, obviously, in the first few months, I'm expecting Pulsechain to really ramp up. So remember that Liquid Loans is not launching until a month after Pulsechain, and the reasons why that is twofold. One, they need price feeds from the Pulse price from Pulsechain, and they need it to be reasonably static. They also need redundancy in there, so they need to be able to make different calls in case something happens. So they need redundancy for the price calls. And of course, number two, they need to order any of the changes. So they're forking liquidity, and that most of the codes is robust and proven, but all the little changes that they have to make for Pulsechain and the tokenomics that they want, they've got to make sure those are audited. So because once they put the contract on the blockchain, it's immutable. They can't change it. It's on there. It's got to be good. And so that's the issue. Those are the two issues. So it won't be ready for a month afterwards. But once it's ready, of course, I expect it to be a boomer. It's going to be a boomer as people will need to be able to lend. And of course, what's the easiest way? Not having to say a PLS, borrow off that. Beautiful win-win. Win for Pulsechain. It's a double win for Pulsechain. Pulse goes off the market, and people use that USDL to buy Pulse on the market. So it's a double win there. But it's also a win for Liquid Loans. Of course, the fees people borrow, they pay a small fee, and it goes into the fees as well. So it's a win-win there as well. So looking pretty good, and it provides a avenue for lending as well. So it's pretty cool at 0% interest as well, excluding the fee. Of course, got to always take the fees into account. All right, so the delayed, of course, we've got the $12 million here. I want it immediately. So $12 million is going in for immediate loan tokens. So this will be given out straight away. So let's just do the math on that while we're here. Haven't actually done this, so we're going to do the math. It's kind of an approximation math, but let's see if I can do it without 1, 2, 3, and then. So yeah, that might be 1, 3. I've got a lot of zeros here, so I've got to count them up here. So 3, 6. Oh, that's 2 minutes. 3, 6, 9. So that could be 300 billion loan tokens available at that stage. So 300 billion. Does that make sense? It does. We've got 830. So maybe 300 billion loan tokens at launch at this stage. That could be open, and that could go onto the platform. Obviously, not everyone puts them in the platform. Some of them people might sell them. So it's going to be, but that gives you an idea at the moment. A number of wallets, of course, per US dollar. This is pretty fascinating. The chart's a little hard to read for the big accounts, but we've got the big Hex God whale up here and a few of the other big whales here. This is 7.5 million. We've got the 1 million here. It's got a couple there. So obviously, the dollars is heavily weighted with the whales, obviously controlling most of the supply. And of course, we have the rest of the retail people here down here, because this big candle here is 2,500. We've got 1,438 wallets, less than 2,500. So I call decent retail investing maybe around the 5,000 mark. So if we've got that, we've probably got on these candles here. This is under 5,000. We've got 476 wallets, and then we've got 264 under 7,500. So this is kind of where I call the the significant low entry retail book here around the 5,000, 7,000 mark. And of course, then we've got 80 wallets below 10,000, 234 wallets below 25,000. This is probably the most significant candle. Having 234 wallets under 25,000 is kind of more the middle retail section. So this is kind of quite positive. And then, of course, we have 49 wallets under 50K, and then, of course, 15 under 75, and we've got some other ones there, smaller amounts there. We've got 14 under $250,000 and so forth. So really is kind of interesting, the middle class there of the retail book there sacrificed. Obviously, the big amounts are these big heavyweights, 5 millionaires, and many other big accounts there, and sacrifice. So cool. You can see the percentages, of course. The Hex God whale, as I said earlier, 27.83% of all tokens as the estimate at the moment. And of course, the Magic Carpet Ride sitting at 16.72%. Followed by our 3 millionaires there, 3.5%, which is our new millionaire, 3.11, which is one of the two previous ones, and 2.26. So pretty cool. So what's that? 27, 28, 28. It's 30, 45, 45, 48, 48. So, you know, maybe 55% of the supply is controlled by the top 5 whales there. So pretty cool. And obviously the Magic Carpet Ride is a group of individuals around the world that are colluding together to get the higher, bigger pays better bonus. And of course, a referral bonus, self-referral bonus with that. All right, so here we are. This is our chart here, sacrifice points. We're on day 10. We've got the dollars price at the top here. We start off at $1 for 10,000 points. It's true for every day, 10 days. And of course, today is day 10. It's the yellow day, the last day before we start moving up by 5% per day. And you can see by the time we get to day 30, which is the last day of the liquid loan sacrifice, we get up to 3,768 points for $1. Man, oh man, March the 20th, that's crazy stuff. And of course, that's over. So March the 20th is actually a pretty good timing in my view. And so I think that's going to be pretty good around my earliest date for Pulsechain launch is just after this period, which I'll talk about later when we get to Pulsechain, but that's kind of the earliest. And we'll obviously be up here, it'll be costing over $2.50 here. Was it $2.75, something like that for that amount of points. Now we can see on this other chart, which is the same thing, but just showing sacrifice points per dollar now. We're going to be 10,000, and then tomorrow you're going to get less. So in about 7 hours time, you'll get dramatically less. You'll go from 10,000 points per dollar down to 9,523. That's a big decrease. That's a big decrease. You're talking about 477 less per dollar. That's a big decrease there. So that's why today's so important, folks. If you're looking to sacrifice, they're really important there. Obviously, it's going to keep going down, 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 down until day 30, where you'll get 3,768 points per dollar. So just take that into account. That, folks, is our results today. And man, oh man, it has been epic. The last couple of hours has really been climbing. Like I say, I will be doing a special live stream for the last hour. I think I'm going to be able to be up for that. So it's going to be just towards the late end of the night for me. But here we are, $33,480,000, 6,903 wallets, woohoo, 832 million loan tokens at the moment. So you've got 7 hours to go until the liquid loan sacrifice earlier pays better starts rising up by 5%. Remember, there's 3 components. Earlier pays better, a bigger pays better between 1 and 2.5, and of course, a longer pays better, which you can get up to a 2.5x multiple, 150% more volume. Pretty cool if you so choose. But you can also do a sacrifice ladder as well and get tokens coming out every couple of months or something like that. So there's lots of options for you, particularly if you're on Binance Smart Chain. Remember, the fees are dirt cheap over there. So you could actually do a sacrifice ladder quite cheaply without paying a lot of fees for that too. All right, cool. That is it, folks. Man, is that cool or what? Now, before we get into, actually, we'll finish this off. We'll come back to have a look at one of our little surprise topics. We've got ETH here. This is actually the ETH sacrifice address on the blockchain. OX2E9 ends in 48C9. You can see the amount there on the blockchain there. We'll just refresh this just to get this aligned as well. So yeah, $29.7 million in here. I'm sure the liquid loans team must be ecstatic. They must be absolutely mind-blowing for any private company on the stock market to raise this sort of money, especially with such, I guess, little exposure to capital markets and things like that. This is mind-blowing for them. They will be stoked, absolutely stoked with these results. That's the Etherscan side. Obviously, you can also sacrifice from the Binance Smart Chain, which is on the BSC scan. We'll just refresh this. Yeah, $9.9 million, 9,908 ETH there, but almost $4 million US there. Pretty amazing. You can see all the sacrifices, all pretty much stable coins for the most part. There was a little bit of Ethereum here, 23 Ethereum, and a bit of Hex down here. 82,000 Hex sacrificed. You're not supposed to sacrifice ETH or Ethereum, just sacrifice stable coins. You can see most of it's stable coins. And that's it there. Cool. Now, obviously, if you are wanting to do a sacrifice and get a 5% bonus on your total sacrifice points, remember this earlier pays better, a bigger pays better, and longer pays better, then you can grab a 5% referral using the link in the video description. And of course, you get 5% on your total sacrifice points. You get that at the end of the sacrifice period. So that is obviously in another 20 days time or so. So that's the way you go. All you have to do is hit the link in the video description. I've also got a video in there as well that shows you how to register it, but we're going to do it now live. So if you do hit the link and you are going to do a sacrifice, hit the refer button here. And of course, click I understand. You can scroll down, read the whole page so that you know what the referral is all about. And of course, you can jump to the rewards here. You can click this button here to join, or you can just go down and read what you're going to get. 5% bonus. It gives you an explanation if you're a referrer, someone who gives a referral code. If you just want to use the referral link, you still need to register to get that 5% bonus. Just remember that you don't have to send out your referrals. But of course, that can be helpful to you. But if you just want to get a referral code with 5%, you can hit the link in the video description. And of course, you need to register your wallet for that address, and that will produce you a referral code, but also qualify you for the referral. Now, you must do $500 of a minimum sacrifice to make that referral work, so that you get the 5% bonus. So take that into account. There are some examples here of how that works. And of course, you can join the referral program here. And that's what you want to do. Click that, say, I understand. And of course, then you want to connect. So this is how you register your wallet so that you get that referral code access. And of course, you're going to hit the wallet there. You're going to get a notice that comes up. It says a signature request. It's going to ask you to sign that. And of course, you just click sign. And of course, that's going to tag your wallet to this referral code. It's going to give you a referral code there. It's anonymous, so no one can see your wallet. And of course, if you do decide to share it with friends, your numbers will show up here, friends who have joined. Now that you've got your wallet registered with a referral code, you can then hit the sacrifice here button. That's going to open up the official sacrifice page. Just click I understand. And of course, this is where you can go sacrifice. So cool. Now, we've talked a lot about this, of course. We've caught the fact that you can sacrifice from the Ethereum chain or the Binance Smart Chain. And of course, you can use stable coins, USDC, USD Tether, TUSD, which is True USD, DAI, and BUSD. So you can use any of those. And of course, you can do that on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain is super cheap, so it's, you can do it on there. Although Ethereum has been pretty good as well. Now, typically, actually, I won't talk about that because it's not relevant at the moment. But you must sacrifice from your wallet here at the moment, and of course, not from an exchange. Those are the three big things there. So stable coins, sacrifice from either Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, and of course from your wallet. And it's as simple as doing a transaction, right? You basically send from your wallet to the sacrifice address, which we'll get to in a second. And of course, you just put the amount that you're happy to sacrifice with. And of course, then you can come back to the site here, paste in your address here and show details, and that will show you your sacrifice is confirmed. It's pretty easy to do. So cool. And so that's the basic stuff there. Remember, this earlier pays better. Basically, today is the last day to get the best rate for that. You can see that the red ball is on day 10. After that, it's going to get 5% dearer. You're going to get 477 points less tomorrow. So it's better to do it today on the last big day. That's why you can see all the big whales have come in today, and they want to get the best rate. There's bigger pays better. That will just rank your US dollar amount versus everybody else. And then, of course, there's longer pays better. This is where you can really influence things. You can delay when you get it, and you get 6% bonus per month. And, of course, 150% over the whole 24-month period if you decide to delay it for 2 years. Otherwise, you can get it all now. You can get it all now. Or you could do sacrifices over different months and get, a bit, average out those bonuses. Maybe get 75% bonus, something like that. There's different ways of you getting the most out of this. Then, of course, that this will last for 30 days. The important thing is if you're going to use the third component, longer pays better, you've got to use the cents to tell them how long you want to delay getting your loan tokens. And, of course, it's from 1 cent up to 24 cents. That means 1 cent means 1 month. 2 cents means 2 months, etc., all the way up to 24 months. So you put 24 cents. So in this example, someone's done $10,000 with 0 cents. That means they want the loan tokens instantly. And of course, that would put them over here. If we go on this chart down here, we could see that these people here did 0, 0. So that's how come they're going to get their loan tokens straight away. And of course, if you did 24 cents, $10,000 and 24 cents, then you're going to get in this candle over the right here, these people are going to get their loan tokens in 24 months. So that's how that works. Obviously, if you did 10,003 cents, that's going to be 3-month delay. So you won't get your tokens for 3 months. So that would be this candle here. That's 3 months there. That's when you'll get your tokens. So while you delay your gratification, you won't be able to put them on the platform and earn USD PLS. So it's only the people that up the front here will be able to do that. As time goes by, of course, everybody will get their tokens given to them, and then they can then put them in the platform and go and stake those. Obviously, this is regardless of the price of loan token. We all hope rides the back of Pulsechain, and they both go up. That's what we're all writing for on the underlying token value. Cool. So that's how that happens there. And of course, you can sacrifice multiple times. Like I say, you can do a sacrifice ladder, or you can sacrifice on different days. It's up to you. But today is really the best day for earlier pays better. Very, very cool. Now, this is the official address, OX2829-948C. And of course, you just copy that. And then you just go to your wallet after you've registered your referral code. So hit the link in the video description, get a 5% bonus, like I just showed you. And of course, you'll get this referral link here. And then you can go and sacrifice and, of course, just send it to this wallet. So you might send, say, $500. You'll send it to this wallet, and you can either do it on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain. That's pretty much it, folks. There's the official launch video below there and has a copy of the address there. But you can also see that I'm showing you the address there on the actual blockchain for Ethereum and the blockchain for Binance Smart Chain. So cool. You can see that people already sacrificed millions and millions of dollars. So cool. I think that was the last one. That's the last one, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Woohoo! What an update. Liquid loans is a big deal. We're going to look at that a bit later. We're going to do the Pulsechain update to see how it plays out. And of course, there's a trade-off between, a lot of people sacrificing and of course, and not a lot of people sacrificing. So not a lot of people sacrificing means you get more tokens relative to the total amount. But of course, with such a good, strong sacrifice, it gives a good perception of value to this. And of course, having the Hex God Well and other big players in it also gives it economic energy. And of course, the Hex God Well is not getting their tokens for another 2 years. So it really is some cool stuff going on there, which means that you can, you can set that up the way you like it. So I think it's pretty cool. All right, nice. That is the end of that one. We're going to jump on to Pulsechain set next. And of course, we're going to get into these details of Pulsechain with the timeline. We're going to go to the goals there and get into chat. Let me go over here and make sure I catch up there. We got Human Hex Trafficker says, can I sack my grandma? I wouldn't recommend it because, grandmas are lovely. And of course, you go around to your grandmothers, they may make you a cup of tea. They may make you some cookies. So I think they're far more valuable than anything crypto could give you. So there's nothing like a bit of a grandmother's love and care. Papa Laba says, yo, what's up, gents? And Brownies in house, a lot of dollars from a lot of projects speaks volume for the support of Pulsechain. This is going to be big. Absolutely. That's a really good observation, Brownie. And as you say, we want the good projects. It's going to be rubbish projects, but we want to talk about the good projects. We want to protect everybody from the bad projects. That's for sure. Papa Laba says, I allow it. Nice one. All right, so cool. What else? Let's jump on here. We got... it's now's in the house, been listening since the beginning, just got to the keyboard. Woohoo! Hey, it's now great to see you in the chat. Hex Token channel member, and of course, kind of the foreman of the moderators as well. Jay Pond is in the house too, not Hex Token channel member. Just jumped in. Hello, Superman. Hello. Hey, Jay Pond. Great pleasure to see you in the chat as well. And man, we've got such good Hex Token channel members. These guys are all champs and ladies. Very, very cool. Welcome, mate. Welcome. Human Hex Track says, I don't even know what that means, but it sounds provocative. Julian says, is it safe? Yeah, it's pretty safe. Well, like I said, you've still got, before a project launches, you always have operational risk. And that's what I said to you. Pulsechain will launch, and then a month after, we expect liquid loans to launch. And of course, we need two things. We need the final audits. Like I say, the project software is forked. So it has already audits to it and robustness. It's already working. And it's not just on Ethereum, it's working on other chains as well. But the fact is that I think it's going to do the best on Pulsechain because it's starting at the beginning. There's not going to be really any competition. And of course, it's going to have early access. So I think there's a lot of very big fundamentals. Obviously, it's going to be super fast, super cheap. It's not going to have the high gas fees that Ethereum has had for most of the time. So it really is going to be pretty cool. And I think that the marketing and the liquid loans team is top notch. It's top stuff. And of course, you need good marketing to get out there as well. So it's going to be fascinating to see what they do. Also with the sacrifice funds, there's no expectation from the work of others, but it will be interesting to see this project in the future as well. Now, I also understand that the team are getting allocation of loan tokens, but I understand that they are actually vested far out into the future, which is pretty positive too. Now, Human Hex Trafficker's got the smiles on. T says there will be more holders of liquid loans than there will be for Pulsechain. I could see that happening. Crazy. Well, there was 100 and what did we end up? 130,000 for PulseX, I think it was. Let me pull that up. PulseX leads. I think there was 130 something thousand. So we're miles away from that. 136,000 wallets. I was pretty close with that. So it's miles away from there. We had $1 billion and probably close to $1.1 billion in total for the Pulsex. And of course, that's just chump change there as where we're at on there. So they're not quite comparable there. But in saying that, liquid loans is doing very, very well for the type of project. So nice. So cool on that. Good point, though. Matt says, just sacked for 24 months. Woohoo, says Matt. So Matt just sacked for 24 months means you get the maximum earlier pays better. 10,000 points for $1 means also that gets the multiplier will depend on the US dollar amount. And thirdly, we'll get the maximum 2.5x on the longer pays better bonus. So well done to Matt out there. And of course, hopefully you got the 5% referral bonus as well. Paul O'Shea says, I'm sick of all these sacrifices. Hey, Paul, I'm sure that I don't actually, as I said the other day, sacrifices are getting overused, and I think some of them don't actually technically qualify. So with the Howie test. So I agree with you on that. And of course, on this channel, we're only covering the good ones. There's lots of other sacrifices going on there, but you haven't heard me really talk about them. And I give, if someone does talk about them, I give them a fair, fair call, fair commentary on them. But I think that a lot of the other ones are far more speculative than this one. Whereas I think this one is actually serves a good function within the Richard Heart ecosystem. We're going to get to that in a second. But yeah, quite agree. You've seen them all pop up, and I don't actually like a lot of them. And I think that if we do get into a full bear market, they're all going to be in trouble, apart from the Richard Heart ones, which I still will hold up good value on the base of Pulsechain and Hex. So that would be cool. Asnana says, like it up. Absolutely like that up. Smash the subscribe, hit the like button, and of course, share, hit the bell as well. Charity Dunny says, I heard Gerardo say the Godwell sacrifice for Mintra today. Oh, well, we're actually going to, so that said, talking about other projects, we will go and check. I was going to go check on Mintra today just to see where it is. I haven't actually been covering it that much. We have had a look at it once. We'll check the Mintra today and see that, definitely see whether that's actually gone up or not. And that's a good point there, Charity. It'd be pretty fascinating to see the Hex Godwell do that. All right, so obviously Mintra is all about an NFT market. Now, apparently people were talking about being forked of OpenSea, but apparently it is a boutique, its own code. So we'll check that out in a second with a quick update on where that sacrifice is at, but quite agree. And Papa says, true, Pulsechain going to erupt. It is. A lot of people, when you have this big delay, a lot of people psychologically really just pulls up this pent-up demand for Pulsechain. And of course, we can't wait for it ourselves. Brazology says, I had a couple of stakes come due yesterday, wondering if I should restake them or wait for Pulsechain. Well, Brazology, the share rate is not holding back, just hit 21,000. So it's food for thought. Share rate has gone up almost, did I say 300 or 400 X per T-share this month. So to take that into account there, Brazology, another month, the T-share rate can be a lot different. Also, don't forget that you're going to get a copy on the Pulsechain, as you know, Brazology. I know you know these things, so I'm just giving you some encouragement there. Charity says, exciting time to be in crypto. We're all early, absolutely. And let's see what else we've got. Roberts online says, what if I use the referral link and sacrifice but hadn't registered? You need to actually register your wallet against the referral address so that you get the 5%. You're just signing a form, so it should be no problem with that, Robert. But yeah, I don't think it reads the cookies on the website. It does have cookies on the website, but it doesn't actually read those because it actually needs to know that you've got a registered site there. So if we went back to the actual referral there, let me just jump back to the refer there. We'll jump back to here. You actually need to, let me just go into the details there. We're thrilled that you've landed this page to participate and potentially earn rewards from the program. You must join the program. So it does say that you have to join the program. So just take that into account. You can hit the join button there. Cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You do have to hit the referral program there and join and sign your wallet in there. It is anonymous, as I say, and it will pull you up a referral code there. But you must also, to get that to work, you need to sacrifice at least $500 to get the 5% bonus. Take that into account. But that registers you there. Cool. Let us jump over to, I think we're on Pulsechain. We're just going to talk about that shortly. Charity says, I staked a long stake before, so I get a copy. You will, Charity. And not only that, Charity, but you have the freedom to claim and or mint your Hedron, which we're going to talk about later too, Charity. I think you did yesterday, I thought you did claim that as well. Brazology says, because I want to migrate some of this EHEX to PHEX. Yeah, well, that's another way another strategy you can do, Brazology, but you will get a copy, as I say, of the PHEX would migrate. Also, how long were the stakes? Darren says, does the staking start now or at conception? Staking of Hex starts straight away, if that's what you're talking about, Darren. And you can start have liquid loans once it launches a month after Pulsechain approximately, you'll be able to pretty much stake your line token and then start earning PLS and USDL and stuff like that. So on the platform there, we're going to go to company knowledge, how it works, click how it works. You'll see the ecosystem there. So you can put loan tokens in there straight away once it actually launches. It's going to be about a month afterwards. Obviously, it needs audits, etc. But you'll be able to earn USDL and PLS, and that's cool too, right? So nice. More volume is the better. Darren says, does staking? I think I've answered that one. And or does staking start a month after the Pulsechain opens? Yeah, it's a month after Liquid Lines is going to launch also. So that's the indication is a month. Darren says Pulsechain may not launch for months. So we're going to talk about that now. That's what we're up to. We're going to talk up to the Pulsechain timeline, folks. If you've just jumped on, we're going to be doing Pulsechain timeline update and talk about on the date that we might expect it to launch. Yes, I admitted Hedron says charity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said that yesterday. I've just had that in the back of my mind. Robert says, so I can register after I sacrificed with the referral link. Maybe, Robert. I don't. I think maybe you can, Robert. It's a little bit vague. We've already had a bit of problem with the referral link, but I think that you may be able to do that. So definitely, I would register anyway. And of course, that may very well qualify, because when you actually sacrifice, you're just sending it on the blockchain, and it doesn't actually, it just has the transaction that the sacrifice came from your wallet. So if you did have a referral code, even if you did it afterwards, that probably would qualify. I know there's cookies on the page, but it really is registering that wallet, signing in and getting that referral code. So I do think that may actually work, Robert. But it's definitely something maybe to. I'm pretty confident that. Yeah, I'd definitely ask the team there, maybe on Telegram or something on Liquid Lines to get an answer on that. But I'm pretty sure that would be the case. Francis says, "Yep." Like I said, when you have to register your wallet to another referral link so that it actually registers you. So that seems to be working from my back end. It seems to be working that way, but definitely something worth asking there. It is. We've had confusion with this for a while, so I agree with you there. It is a little confusing. But once again, if you go to the actual site there, click the referral and register, you'll be perfectly fine. And you probably can do it post sacrifice. It'll be interesting whether they actually register the timing of your referral as well. I don't know if they actually register the time of your referral and the time of your sacrifice on the blockchain. I'm just not sure whether they do that. Would be my only question. So maybe something, definitely asking the Liquid Loans team for that technical aspect. Cool. That was a really good question. All right, so nice. Let's get on to Pulsechain. And of course, here we are, folks. We're waiting for it. We're waiting for it. The pent-up psychological demand is ginormous. And of course, we're getting a burst of. So even though we're having to wait, we're actually getting a burst of projects. Now, quite a few of them are trying to use the Richard Hart mechanism of the sacrifice, to get the Howey test and stuff like that. As I said to you, I don't think some of them actually qualify. Of course, you need to have a finished project. You need to have something that a person is interacting with, and you're not doing any work for them. And I think it's debatable, some of the projects, whether they qualify for that or not. But obviously, if they're so small, the SEC probably won't even come along to them. Obviously, the SEC is after the bigger fish, and they seem to, like XRP, not to be doing too well against even the crypto markets, and even XRP's managed to push them back. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. They're probably going to go into more formal regulations, trying to push regulations, which is what we've been seeing, and we'll see how far they get. Obviously, the current administration in the United States isn't very friendly towards crypto, because that's they don't have control over it. They want to get more control. So take that into account. So cool. That is that. So obviously, Pulsechain, super fast, super cheap. And of course, the biggest yield farming in crypto history, biggest airdrop in crypto history. So if you're new to Pulsechain, everything that you've got on the Ethereum will be copied over to Pulsechain. You'll basically get the biggest airdrop in crypto history there. And of course, that's massive. And then of course, you can actually later on, you can actually get into yield farming as well and things like that. So should you choose, or many of the other projects that are on there. So it's going to be amazing. But the biggest thing that a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that it's going to be the fastest way to mass adoption that crypto has ever seen, because you've got so many fundamentals. It is insane. And so it's going to be absolutely amazing to see that play out. And I like to talk about the fastest way to mass adoption all the time, because it is massive, especially when the bridge opens up and people can bring over their ERC20s and other stuff over to the Pulsechain. And once they get the Pulsechain, they won't want to go back because they're going to own the keys to their coins. Everything's going to be like Ethereum, but everything's going to be the way Ethereum should be. And that's going to be amazing. Not just the way Ethereum should be, but of course, Richard's gone that step further and created the sacrifices, which gives the total amount of tokens for his top tokens, and of course, magical buy and burns, and much, much more. So it really is amazing stuff there. People won't want to leave. And of course, it's going to be awesome stuff there. All right, so let's go over the Pulse thing timeline here. So we've got the timeline here. Obviously, we've got the first yellow line here is Pulsechain Testnet 1. That lasted for 77 days. And of course, on the 12th of December 2021, we started Pulsechain Testnet 2. They overlap for a couple of days so that people that are testing their apps and things on there could switch them over. And of course, so far, Pulsechain Testnet 2 is now longer than Pulsechain Testnet 1. It is now on day 79. 79 versus 77 days, so it's 2 days longer now. Amazing. We are expecting Pulsechain Testnet 3 to come soon. So that's the big thing. We've got question marks here about when Pulsechain Testnet 3 starts and Pulsechain Testnet 2 ends. And of course, on Pulsechain Testnet 2, we've got everything ticked off. As Richard said, it would be a gradual release. And of course, that's what we have seen. Go.hex, Uniswap front end, and PulseX and the bridge have all come into play. So pretty amazing there. We've also got obviously Pulsechain Testnet 3. Also on top of the chain there, the validators have been working very well. We've got 28 validators testing. It's going to be 33 when it actually goes live. And of course, people will be able to stake with the validators to earn more Pulse. So cool there. We've got Pulsechain Testnet 3. We're expecting, obviously, we've got the PulseX incentive token. We've seen snapshots of that. And of course, we've got the AMM bot as well being tested on the back servers as well. This is going to be awesome. And of course, then we've also got the distribution from Pulsechain and PulseX. We're expecting to see it on Pulsechain Testnet 3. Now, Richard says he expects it to be short, but this thing could last. I've got it for 2 weeks at the moment, but this thing could last 4 weeks, 6 weeks. It really is. It could last a while. So if this is 79 days, let's say 40 days. This could I've got that 14 days at the moment, but it could last 40 days, maybe after time. So it really could push the day up time arc. But let's say that it is short and it doesn't actually overrun. Testing AMM bot and stuff like that, because we know this is all moving forward. Then this could be a bit longer or a bit shorter. So at the moment, I've got a bit of a gap here between the two, and then of course, let me just see what that gap is on my timeline. So I've got the timeline there, the 1st and the 5th there. So I've got a 2-day gap there. This one starts on the 3rd. That starts on the 3rd there, and of course goes all the way through to the 17th. So that's 2 weeks, 3rd to the 17th. This is the 17th there. Let's make sure I'm not blocking that. Yeah, the 17th there. And so this would be short. 2 weeks would be short, and we'll see if it's longer or not. The other thing, of course, is that we are waiting for a snapshot block as well. And of course, obviously, mainnet for PulseX and Pulsechain to launch. That's what this is, Pulsechain, PulseX here. So we're waiting to launch. At the moment, I've got the earliest date for that at the 24th. I haven't changed that yet, but that could change soon. That might get pushed back even further. And the reason why is between the 17th and 24th, that is a week. And of course, gives a chance for the snapshot block to be taken. Now, for the Pulsechain Testnet 3, we're also expecting another snapshot for that. Richard has talked about that. So it'll be interesting we get that. Now, in other words, if you've got balances in your on Ethereum, you should be able to see them on Pulsechain Testnet 3 if you haven't been able to see them on Pulsechain Testnet 2, because the block on Pulsechain Testnet 2 is several months old. So many of you, if you've just moved a lot of crypto in there, you may not that be showing up. So a big thing, obviously, get the biggest airdrop in crypto history is to have a lot of your tokens on the ETH chain there, not to have them on second layers like Polygon. If you've got tokens on Polygon, they're not owned by you; they're second layer ones. And of course, the layer ones are owned by whoever you swap them to on the Polygon network. So you've got to be careful that you're not on second layer networks. You want to have your assets on Ethereum if you're going to get the copy and get that free copy on Pulsechain. So just remember that. So people will be accumulating. And of course, we just don't know the gamification that Richard's going to have around the snapshot, because there's two sides of it. One, he doesn't want liquidity pulled out of the dexes before the snapshot. And two, he obviously, if he does do a snapshot, then it gives people a chance to buy assets and keep them on Ethereum, knowing that they're going to get a copy on that block. That is probably the biggest first pumpamental. I think that Pulsechain Testnet 3 would be a very big confidence booster. It may also trigger the whales moving as well, Pulsechain Testnet 3. But I definitely think that in any case, the snapshot block, if that, depending on how it's communicated, that would be the big thing that would get us our big price rise. So that's what I'm expecting there. So if we go back to the Hex price, we used to have a big price rise here. We're expecting a big breakout of here. That's what we would expect at the moment. So we're going to have to wait till we get a bit more news at the moment. So at the moment, my market's just riding down, just staying where it is at the moment. And of course, this is when weak hands, paper hands start losing their minds and they start selling or they just don't buy. And of course, the next day, a big green candle starts showing up and it's game over. And these guys are trying to catch the train. Train has left the station. And I think we're getting pretty close to that. Obviously, it depends on how Richard signals the future. And that's kind of what we're waiting. We're kind of in that holding pattern at the moment. But if, we might get a bit of a move on if we get a signal around the snapshot, signal around the Pulsechain testnet 3, and it may not be the retail that moves, it might be a whale that moves the price, and it's game over from there. So cool. We're also expecting Hex Scale to come up as well. So Hex Scale still in the play there with their PPA agreement. That's their investment disclosure agreement. And of course, that's to enable them to receive funds. And then they're going to buy Hex and stake that 5555. That's going to be pretty amazing to see that play out. We haven't heard a lot from them on that. That's obviously taking them more time to get that final part together. But the Mountain Crypto Advisors has been up and running since I think at least the end of December last year. Of course, they've had many interviews with a lot of people there. That is a high investment fund, though. You probably want to have at least $1 million or something like before you even start doing those, because there is like an 8% fee for a lot of people to get into that. Not all the cases, I think, but quite a few. All right, so cool. Obviously, that's what we're expecting to come up here. This is what we're expecting. And, of course, the snapshot block and then mainnet launch. So it's still got the 24th at the moment, but, hey, in a couple of days, this could change. If we don't get Pulsechain testnet 3 launching, say by the weekend, then this is going to be pushed out, and will be pushed out until the early April as the earliest date. So this is the key phrasing, the earliest date. So April is definitely looking more likely now, but the earliest date being the 24th of this month. So that's what we're expecting. Now, Richard had reiterated in his last live stream, I think it was the last time, not the Peter Schiff one, that Pulsechain testnet 3 is definitely on. So we have had that many times. So 16th of December, we had it. The 6th of February, we had it. And of course, only a week or so ago, we had another confirmation testnet 3 is in the play. And it's kind of like a dress rehearsal for the Ambient bot, because they are running Ambient on private server testers. They've got 2 people working on the PulseX incentive DAO stuff. And of course, Richard's got the PulseX incentive as a first priority, then Ambient bot as the final big thing to run. And of course, the distributions that we're all sacrificed for. Pretty amazing. So that is the timeline, folks. We've obviously got a few peripheral things. We've got the Expo conference that's going to be awesome on, I think, the 6th to 9th of March. And, of course, that's coming up. And that's run by Matty Allen. Big shout out to Matty Allen for all he does. And, of course, we've also got the Las Vegas Hex sponsored car running again in Las Vegas, 5th of March, and then running again in Talladega, 24th of April. Now, these have got big audiences. I think the Talladega has got a very big audience. So this is more brand exposure for Hex in there as well. So cool. And of course, the timing couldn't be perfect, better with the Hexpo conference. Over 600 Hexkins in there. It's going to be a huge party for the Hexkins second year. So nice. And of course, we have got a DS conference is coming up. We haven't heard much about that either. So Hex Scale and DS conference and stuff like that. They're keeping that pretty close to their chest. But of course, the Hex Scale is going to be a permanent big buyer, and stake 555. It's going to be a gorgeous thing. The Hex price is up into the moon. Now, the other thing, of course, is that the Hex Scale will be loving this price at the moment. This is what they want to buy in it. They don't want to buy in at higher prices. The lower they can buy in, the better for their investors and the better for their share rate that they're going to have. So pretty cool. So that's the end of that, folks. Of course, we're at the highest of stakes. It's the blue line here running through. The highest of stakes is going to keep filming. And, of course, it's been super boosted by the Hex Gold Whale and from Overwatch. They were both given $500,000 each or more to that as well. So that's going to be absolutely amazing film documentary and help with the retail virality and, of course, general branding for Hex and Pulsechain. It's going to be pretty amazing. All right, getting over to the end game. This is the end game, of course. We're going to have the first system stake copy of Ethereum in crypto history. And, of course, it's not just any system stake copy. Richard has supercharged it with the best tokenomics on the planet. We're going to have the total amount of tokens starting off for Pulse and PulseX at the beginning, and it's only going to decrease over time. We're going to obviously have staking for with the validators for Pulse. And of course, you can also go with liquid loans and collateralize your Pulse and not sell it there either. There'll be other third-party dApps trying to track Pulse, so hold on to your Pulse bags as much as you can. Pulsex, of course, is also going to be total amount and magical buy and burn. We've got already seen staking coming out into there. I'd like to see a little bit of clarification around the staking. We're going to have XPLX, and I want to see how much of the actual magical buy and burn is going to that fund. So I need some clarification around that. Still a bit grey. It was pretty clear before. It's a little bit grey with those last slides that we had out. So we'll wait to see whether we get anything more about that. Also, the incentive token is in there as well, and should have a Pulsex pool for that as well with the incentive. The other thing, of course, we've seen that the Origin account has something like 86% of the Pulsex supply, and therefore should control the incentive DAO for Pulsex quite easily. Even though we have voting, I don't really see it. We're going to be certainly protected from big whales manipulating the voting with the Origin account. So you can see some of the benefits the Origin account brings. The sacrifice accounts all bring to the ecosystem. Everything should be focused towards buying Pulsex, Pulse, and stuff like that, and not selling. And that's where the whole platform, everything else that's traded, really supports the Richard Heart tokens. It's really a beautiful system, isn't it? Doesn't make you want to just shout and scream and stuff. It's so good. Right, so that's what's going on there. Obviously, the biggest airdrop in crypto history. All the ECR20s getting copied over to PRC20s. That's the biggest airdrop in crypto history. And of course, we're going to be super fast, super cheap on the Pulsechain. And then finally, we're going to have the biggest yield farming in crypto history as well, as the AMM bot then harvests all those beautiful, juicy dexes, makes the biggest yield farming possible. And as I say, we could, if we had $1 billion of trade volume, we would get $600,000 of buy pressure for the Pulsex. And of course, if you say it's 2 billion, that's double the amount, 1.2 million. So you see it really does go up pretty fast. The other thing, of course, is that on top of that, you're going to have normal market buying and selling. So people are going to be clamoring over for Pulsex. So everybody that sacrifices Pulse and Pulsex, it's going to be an amazing, crazy time. So we've got the biggest airdrop, biggest yield farming, and of course everybody at the moment, the only one who's got action to that is people that sacrifice. We were the ones that own the tokens, and of course that's where the third big thing comes in. The fastest. I can't re-emphasize the way to mass adoption is when that bridge opens up. That is going to be glorious. We're going to get about a day or two to do any ratio swap trades, and of course that bridge opens up, and then we will have everybody come over, not just from Ethereum. The Ethereum people will come to grab their PRC20s, and that's going to happen like a bit of like a fire in a wheat field. It's going to take time, but it's going to happen pretty fast as people find out. Oh, did you hear about your airdrop? Did you hear about this? Everything's the same. It's better. It's going to really crazy. That's why I encourage you out there to get out there and spread the word about the biggest airdrop in crypto history, and of course the biggest yield farming come out. Get out there and do what you can, because it's going to just help with that momentum. Momentum is awesome, so just got to get momentum, and then it will deliver great results. So that's cool. And then of course we're going to also, not just that, we're going to get all the yield farmers coming, not just from Ethereum, but from all the other chains on the planet are going to run in to try and yield farm and get the biggest deal, biggest thing in crypto history. So they're going to come onto this platform. It's going to be super amazing, and they'll be coming in the huge numbers, hundreds of thousands. And so I could easily, like I said, see on Pulsechain getting 6 to 10 million transactions per day. Like I say, Polygon Matic's doing 3 to 4 million. Binance Smart Chain about 6 million. Ethereum about 1.3 million. So you could see quite easily, excluding all the other chains. Many other chains are ghost chains. They have certain parts of them that are doing really well, but then the ones that do have lots of users on them, they'll be flocking into Pulsechain. And man, if anything was an Ethereum killer, as I always say, this has got to be it. This is so beautiful. All the tokens from this beginning, deflating, magical buy and burns, biggest yield farm. It just is amazing. Every time you go through those words, it just is mind-boggling. So we're looking forward to this. This is the biggest thing in crypto. Of course, we've got the fiat gateway as well going to open up. That's going to be huge. It means you don't have to go through the Ethereum, go through 8 or 9 steps to get your currency out. Maybe you have to pay some bills. Maybe you want to buy buy a Ferrari or something. You won't have to go 8 steps out the other way. You should be able to go out maybe 1 or 2 steps out this way through the fiat gateway. That's going to be getting off, of course, and it's also wonderful bringing in all that fiat into the system as well. And of course, this closed system will be an open system with that bridge and the fiat gateway. It's going to be amazing. And of course, I see that Hex is like our awesome savings, 37, 38 plus returns there. And of course, so we've got our exchange, we've got our network, so everybody else can come on and use their dApps. projects that died on Ethereum are going to be able to resurrect here on Pulsechain. And of course, new dApps are going to be able to innovate here on Pulsechain with super cheap, super fast fees as well. So it's pretty cool. And of course, on top of that, we've got lending through liquid loans, which is what we've been talking about, why we've been talking about it so much here on this channel, because it really is huge. We've got DeFi, savings and lending, amazing stuff. Your own bank, it's like pretty cool. And this is the future of crypto. And, you know, we are just going to keep evolving. I think we're about halfway through, you know, that crypto journey of maturity. And of course, another, you know, 18 years, this technology will really dominate finance. And of course, that's why we see Federal Reserve banks and things like that wanting to do programmable digital currency, which is a scary thing because they will choose who can buy and sell. And that is a nightmare. And of course, decentralized crypto like Pulsechain, what Richard's building, is going to also offer great freedom and a resistance to that oppressive kind of regime. So it's very positive, both from a financial point of view and from a freedom point of view. So it's going to be a glorious thing to see it play out. And of course, it's all going to happen this year. It's going to be pretty neat to see. All right, so that's that, folks. Let's jump over to the next final topic. Before we do that, let's catch up to the chat there. John says, what's your thoughts on Power City? They seem to be planning a range of products on Pulse, but I don't know anything about the team. Like I said, I think that's more of a speculative play there, John. I think they're doing some good things on Power City. Once again, they have to attract the users. They need the marketing. And that's what I'm saying. Richard Hart's ones doesn't need that. You already see it's got huge numbers and huge support. So just take into account you're taking on that added speculative risk of getting them being good marketers and keeping a good amount of people attracted to their project, whereas you won't have that with the Richard Hart Pro tokens. That's what I mean. You're got a more riskier speculative project. May do very well. And of course, that's your chance to speculate. But of course, I try to veer away from some of those because I always know that the size of the investor crew is really determines the sustainability of the project. So I would really think about those sort of things when I'm looking at Power City. Although I do think they've got some nice little product offerings there. Charity says, "Do you have any insight on USDL? How does that work? A new stable coin? Is it an existing stable on a new chain? So it's going new. It is a new stable coin. It is basically backed by PLS. So if you go to the knowledge base here and go to how it works, you will see that USDL is actually backed by the asset that people use to put up. So I'm going to, let's say I have 1,000 PLS. I put it there and I put it into the vault, and then that supports the value of a USDL. Let's say a USDL $1 can buy a 10 Pulse, and therefore that I put 100 in. That means I'm backing 10 Pulse there, 10 USDL. So if a USDL could buy 10 Pulse and I got 100 Pulse in there, that's 10 USDL. So that's how it gets asset backed. Hopefully that's kind of clear. And of course, a USDL will always be able to get back $1 worth of Pulse. So Pulse can go up and down in price, but USDL will be able to buy that. So let's say Pulse goes down half price, then one USDL would go from 10 Pulse up to 20 Pulse if the price went down by half on Pulse. So, and the opposite. So opposite way would occur. So if Pulse goes up by price, then maybe I could get the opposite. So cool. All right, that was that one. Let me jump on to the next comment there. We got what's up? Says Vinix. Hey, Vinix, good to see you. And Brazil says hey too. And excited for the Hex car race this Saturday. Vroom vroom. Yeah, and Las Vegas too. Right, in Las Vegas. I mean, that is so cool. So Hexpo Vegas is on 600 Hexagons. It's going to be crazy good social media footage. And of course, the race on too. It's going to be really, really cool to see that. Nice. All right, let's. I think we're up to the latest and greatest. Let's get on to Hedron. This is our final topic, folks. Topic number 4. And actually, before we get to Hedron, let's go and check out. How the this is Gerado's project. Mintra is getting on with the sacrifice. Apparently, the Hex Gold Whale has sacrificed. This has jumped up big time. Oh my gosh, the Hex Gold Whale has gone in. So this was sitting at just over 2 million a few hours ago. And it's got 1,894 wallets. The Hex Gold Whale looks like it has come in. We've now got 1 billion mint tokens here. There's 1 day and 10 hours to go before the start of their bonding curve. And of course, here it is. It's jumped in the top here. Let's have a look. So it's got E6C. We've got 804. It's pretty much owning this place. Let's go in here and have a look. This has just happened Monday the 28th of February. So it's came in just before, not quite today. It's come in, but it's got $4 million US. That's crazy. Gerardo will be jumping up and down, and the team that's actually doing the software. And of course, SAC day 13, rate 100 there. So they're getting 400 million points there. Looks what they got. They got 75% of the supply. 75% of the supply. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy, right? Wow. Okay, that's really interesting. 75%. That's some crazy stuff right there. Man, oh man. Welcome to crypto, everybody. Welcome to crypto. Man, oh man. So there's some crazy stuff there. 804 million mint. That is amazing. 85%. And of course, look at the multiplier. Oh, it smashed the multiplier. It smashed the multiplier. Oh my gosh. So people before this would have been really happy about the multiplier, and now the multiplier's just been smashed by the Hex Godwell. That's some crazy stuff there. E6C. So yeah, that is some crazy stuff right there. E6C. Man, oh man. So let me just copy that. I'm going to copy that address in there. All right, so let's go to the ETH channel there. Let's paste that in. Bam. And go have a look at that. I haven't linked that through 21 Ether, so I presume that's going through on that. So $4 million came from this address. Let's see. Look here, this address, and yes, that is the Hex Godwell, folks. Woohoo! That's the Hex Godwell. Man, oh man, is that crazy or what? That's crazy, man. That he's got to be so. Obviously, I said to you that there's a very good use case for NFT marketplaces, and obviously, if you're on there first with an NFT marketplace and you've got good community support already, like Gerardo does, being one of the top YouTubers in the space, and of course, but the thing is that obviously in a bear market, the NFTs are going to get hit hard, and I think the best NFTs are utility NFTs. So a certain part of the market of NFTs will do well, but of course, if the market holds up, as we're seeing at the moment, then yeah, you could do fully well. So if the market holds up here, then obviously Mintra will do pretty well there. So there we are, folks. That is pretty exciting. Thanks for Charity. I think Charity is one that let us know about that. So big thanks to Charity for that one. All right, cool. So yeah, let's get on to the final topic, folks. Hedron, let us go. And of course, look at the price. Hedron is holding up. This is USD version 2. Obviously, there's other pairs. There's USD version 3. There's Hex, Hedron versus Hex. So you can just search. So this is on Dex Screener. So I'll post the link to this in the chat here. If you want to check this out, bam, and expect screener there. Now, obviously, you can find Hedron on nomics.com. You can find it on dex.guru. You can trade it on dex.guru front end Hedron as well. So there's a couple places where you can find it. But this is here on Dex Screener. And actually, have I got? I don't know if I've got. I was just trying to find where they got dark mode on here because all just seems to be pretty light. Maybe I've lost the dark mode. Have we got dark mode? No. What else got dark mode? That's not going to give me dark mode. Dark mode on there? No. Appearance? No. Okay. No. All right. I'll have to find dark mode on here. Can't find it. Anyway, so that aside, who cares? All right. So we've got the chart here. It's in a price here. It's actually done really well. Look at it bounced off here down at 60636. So that was the low. I've been watching this price every day, pretty much non-stop. And of course, here it is. It's actually jumped back up to here. This is actually a pretty good price, right? So this is I have a suspicion it may actually get back up to here. Which is amazing. 5022, somewhere like that. And here we are here at 501685. So that's pretty good. So when it's at a price of 501, you could buy 1 billion Hedron for $1,000 US. And of course, to get 1 billion Hedron, if you claim and minted it, which mean you'd have to be a pretty big account, a Hex holder, to get 1 billion. So probably somewhere up in the squid mark, somewhere up in that range. So it is a pretty big deal. So pretty cool. So hey, if some of those accounts are minting it and selling it cheap, maybe they're selling it cheap down here for a bit, you could pick it up and that might actually work out for you. Obviously, the total supply is going up all the time because there's so much is minted for on the blockchain. So that is a big deal. I'm just trying to think actually where the have I got the contract here? That's the contract. So we're going to go find the contract on Ethereum too. Let's go paste that. Now there's going to be a copy of this on the Pulsechain as well. So it's going to be interesting. So much supply. It's going to be interesting to see how the market reacts to all that. Cool. Did I paste it in properly? Hedron. Yeah. Hedron here. Let's go find that. All right. So there is now, get this, folks. This is on ETH. There's now 9.6 trillion Hedron in the that have been minted. 9.6. This won't be interesting. Such these volumes is going to be crazy, and the price is actually doing really well. at the moment. Look at this. So that's the total price there, price chart, and of course, wow. Now, obviously, let's have a look at the time frame. We're currently this is on the hourly chart. We're currently 3 days and 4 hours, 3 days and 4 hours long so far. So obviously it's free, so you can go and mint it. If you claim it, you can claim the bonuses, which is 10x at the moment. That lasts for the first 10 days, so there's obviously about another 7 days to go for that. But if you you can also mint them as well. If you mint them, basically the tokens will get minted from the contract and go to your wallet. And of course, you'll be able to sell them or hold on to them. And many people are. So many people are just holding them. Obviously, they are because we've got, as I said, we've got 9.6 trillion Hedron out there. So a massive number. And of course, you can see people minting them all the time. See, there's null addresses. People just keep minting all day long. So that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You got the holders here. Holders are 3,679. Now, we know that, how are we going to talk about this? We've got this, was about 285,000 Hex holders, I think, from memory. So these numbers are a bit iffy, but, and then, of course, there's 82,000 stakers in Hex. So it gives you an idea of the total amount. So at the moment, we've got about 4,000. Now, these are just proxy numbers, of course. You got to make sure you're comparing apples with apples. But yeah, we've got 284,000 holders at the moment, and we've got almost 82,000 stakers here on Hex. So this is obviously people minting primarily on Hedron. So primarily on the Hedron, so the existing stakes, there's the native stakes. And of course, you can see some of the numbers are really big. So 77 billion in these accounts. So some big holders here, but they're just sitting on them. I think a lot of people are just sitting on them and just going to see what happens to the price. I think that's all that's going to happen there. And at the moment, the price is holding up pretty well. So it'll be fascinating to see this play out. And the volumes are relatively low. Obviously, there's 3 trading pairs. I think the Vision 3 trading pair is the biggest by far. This is Vision 2. This one here has got a market cap of 16 million, liquidity 26,000. So liquidity's been going up too, obviously with the price going up. So some pretty interesting stuff there. Yeah. Right, cool. That is the price. Let's jump over to Hedron itself. This is the site here. And of course, I do have the link for Hedron in the video description. So you can check that out as well. And if we scroll down here, this is basically, these are locked at the moment. So I think the tokenization is open though. So I'm not sure what the lock bar there is. So you can mint your Hedron there at the moment. Bonus is 10x multiplier. And there's an advanced mint bonus ratio. That depends if the total amount of borrowing gets more than the amount minted. I think over 50%, but that's going to be far off. That'll be far off that bonus. Some people are not just claiming, so they're claiming the bonus, the 10x multiplier, but they're not going to mint, and they're going to wait to mint when this bonus appears. And this bonus will only appear for 24 hours, this advanced mint bonus, where the borrowing gets over 50%. So whether that actually happens or not is going to be interesting. Obviously, if the project does really well, then people may very well mint over 50%. That might happen. So cool. Obviously, you basically mint them to claim your bonuses and then receive your tokens. That's pretty much how it works. This is the diagram. It's pretty similar as well. So the same sort of thing as what's in this diagram here. Obviously, there's 2 other features here. We haven't been talking about those, borrowing and advancing. That's bouncing against your future payments. Obviously, that you can only mint what the amount of days that you've served in your stakes at the moment. And of course, there's tokenized. These are new stakes. You can get wrapped stakes here. Basically, put your Hex in a jar, and then you can trade that as an NFT contract. So that's well as there. So we actually have had the first NFT sold, but we'll get into that in a minute. But first, we're going to go to the Hedron DApp, and of course, that you have to click at the top there. This is actually where you do your mint and claim, and of course, you must be on Ethereum, and you can click the MetaMask wallet and connect your wallet, and you'll get your stakes that you have in that particular wallet down the bottom here. There'll be an action button on the right, and of course, there are 2 functions. You can do a claim the 10x bonus. Remember, every 10 days that goes down by 1x. So day 11 to day 20 will be 9x bonus. So you obviously the first 10 days is the best way to get the bonus. You can lock those in without minting, just by claiming. Then the second feature is actually minting the tokens, and you'll see them in your wallet. Obviously, you can click the add to Hedron to MetaMask, so that will actually add the contract, so you can actually see the Hedron in your MetaMask wallet. Pretty cool. So add the Hedron to your MetaMask, and of course connect your wallet up here, and then you'll see your stakes, and then you can actually claim. Now at 30 Gwei, it was costing about $9 to $10 at 30 Gwei. Obviously on Sunday when we were doing it, it was super cheap Gwei. So 30 Gwei was about $10 to $12. So you could claim for about $10, and then you could mint for about $10 at 30 Gwei. So obviously if the Gwei is higher on the ETH chain, it will be more expensive. Take that into account. So cool. The other thing, of course, I've just got here a example of what that would look like. This is just the Pulsechain testnet. Obviously, there's going to be a copy on Pulsechain, so take that into account. But you can see that here as well. Now, I think, yeah, I think that's all at the moment. So there's got some charts here as well. You can see the charts. Charts kind of show Hedron, minted, borrowed, and burnt, and of course, daily data. You will have to log on with your Ethereum wallet to see that. I don't think that's going to work for mine because mine's on. Let me just go to Ether here. Let's see what happens. I've got no stakes on this wallet, but it's also showing the amount minted. So let's do that. We can see on day one, 4.2 trillion was minted, and 17.8 million was borrowed. So they did have some borrowing on the first day. Second day, 2.8 trillion was minted, and 18.5 million was borrowed. The first burnt was on, so there is a burn mechanism. 152,000 was burnt, so that's pretty much nothing burger at this stage, given the fact that there, as we said, there is 9.6 trillion Hedron at the moment. So it's pretty much a nothing burger there. And of course, today, 2.2 trillion has been minted. So it is falling. The amount minted has been falling at the moment. And of course, there is 946,000 has been borrowed. So pretty small on the borrowing. But this early days, we will see how this progresses over time. It's going to be pretty interesting there as well. All right, cool. Let us jump over to, that is Hedron. And of course, we're going to go to OpenSea, I think. No, we're going to jump out of there. Let's go to OpenSea. And we're going to see the first trade. So there was the first HSI stake. So if we go to Hedron, you can see that this is the side we're going to claim and mint and add the Hedron to your MetaMask. But this here is going to be where you create a new stake and you get a wrapped stake. So this is a different feature. And of course, you can put the amount of Hex that you got to have in your wallet, the amount you want to stake. And of course, then you have to do approval and stuff like that, prove Hex, etc. So you have to follow through that process. Now that people have already been doing these are in the market. And of course, we're going to have a look at those now. Let me go to my collections. Hopefully I've got it on the right one here. Let's have a look. Let's actually look at, let's go Hedron. I might just type it in. Hedron stake instance, I think they're called. Hex stake instance. I can't remember now what they're called now. Hex stake. I got the wrong one here. Hex stake instance. That's what it's called. So this is what it's called here. OpenSea collection Hex stake instance. So copy that if you want to check that out on OpenSea. Post it in the chat there. Bam. All right. So that is what it is there. All right. So that's the link there if you want to check out the actual stakes. So these are actually stakes that are on the market. So we can see that 0.5 ETH has been traded so far. So it's just opened up. We've had our first sale, I think it was. It's got some floor price here, 55, but ETH, that just seems nonsensical. And of course, we've got 23 owners at the moment, 112 items. So people are definitely interacting with it. We can see the cheapest one, I think, here. You obviously got the, you can filter down the bottom left there, the amount of T-shares, etc., Hex staked and stuff like that. And you can do that. But you got the little graphic. Look at the little graphic there, turning around. Is that cool? Is that cool or what? That's kind of cool. Encapsulated by Hedron. Hex stake. So this is a way people can trade Hex stakes. Maybe if you've got a 5 for 5 stake, stuff like that, you can trade that out. So this is one T-share here. It's staked for 15 years, 5,555 days. So you can actually jump on that. You can see that there's a lot of 1 ETH ones. There's some ones that are ridiculously priced. So 1.42 Hex here, staked at 500 ETH, stuff like that. So you got to be careful out there when you're looking at these. But this is what it's got at the moment. So cool. You can see this 1 ETH, $2,900. So you have to do the economic, the maths, and make sure it's worth buying or selling. You can see that this one was minted here as well. So people are definitely doing it from the looks of it. And let's jump back here. We've got the activity, and I think we had our first one traded. So first one traded here, $1,500 here from the looks of it. It was half a T-share there from this account to this account. So that's pretty much that on that. And I think that's where we're going to go to social media. We'll go Twitter. And, of course, on Twitter, you can see Hedron. Yeah, so here you can see 12 hours ago. So the first Hex stake encapsulated Hedron was sold, which is the one I just showed you, that 0.9. So that's this one here that was sold there. That's the one that's referring to. on the Twitter. And where did Twitter go? Here. So you can see that happen. And also Twitter, interesting, the price has moved up, and that's pretty much it. So pretty cool stuff there from Hedron. So that's a free claim. That's like kind of like an airdrop for Hexkins. And of course, you can also do encapsulated stakes, which is kind of a new feature people are not used to, but you can do that now. And of course, you can also do borrowing as well, which are two advanced features. I haven't talked about those on this chat. Really, it's about the free claim, free stuff there. But it's going to be interesting to see how this operates. It is experimental. And of course, the massive volumes are huge, as I said. There's 9.6 trillion. So how's that going to play out? It's going to be pretty fascinating. I do know, obviously, Hexkins are very good long-term holders. So that's going to be something in favor of the project. And how high will the price go? How high will the price go? Obviously, people can sell into a higher price quite easily with this amount of volume. It's going to be fascinating to see it play out. It really is. Typically, you want to lock up volume. You want to do that. So, it's pretty important. So, nice. Yeah, I think that's going to be fascinating. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That is, man, an hour and 45. What's going on here? What's going on this channel? This channel is getting crazy, crazy passionate about Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex, that's for sure. And, of course, the Brownie says, my Hedron gas minting fees have paid for themselves already. Nice one, Brownie. Yeah, a lot of people have been celebrating their free bags on the Hedron. And it's now says, I had a friend spend $300 minting Hedron today from 9 stakes and got 7 million Hedron. What? You got to do your math. So if you've got small stakes, small stakes, small amount of B shares, it probably won't be economic for you to mint them. Just take that into account. There will be a copy on Pulsechain. Doesn't forget that. Jim06 says that's awesome. He is watching all projects like a hawk. And Dan Best says, well, God, wow, claim Hedron. That's definitely a possible thing, Dan. And of course, that'd be insane. The amount of thing. We're not expecting the Origin account to claim Hedron, but the Hex Godwell could definitely do that. BJM says, how do you buy Hedron? Exactly. I did post you the link there. So the link is here. This is you can go to economics, you can go to Dexcuru, you can go to Uniswap directly. But this is Dexscreen. I posted the link in the video description. And of course, if you want to trade on Uniswap, just click the trade button. It will open up Uniswap for you, and you can just hook up your MetaMask wallet and trade right on the platform, off the platform there. So cool. Hopefully that helps you there, BJM. And on Uniswap Exchange, yep. And there are 3 pairs, US dollar. There's a couple of pairs there, X as well. Ashtree says, Hex Token, woohoo! Hey, Ashtree, good to see you. And Brazil says, yeah, you can swap ETH for Hedron if you want. You can. And you can swap Hedron for Hex as well. You can do that too. Cool. Just checking it out. Gathering info on it. Need to know more. Thanks. Hey, you're welcome there, BJM. Hey, the best video on Hedron that I've seen is actually by David Ferrer. On his YouTube, David Ferrer, he's also going to be running a validator. He has a very good way of articulating the Hedron features. He's done a lot of work on that. He's looked at the contracts and things like that. So David Ferrer on YouTube, check that out there, BGM. Clint says, if I just hold my sacrifice tokens, do that increase in value? Well, that's what we're all hoping, Clint. We're all hoping they increase the value. You can just hold them. But once again, if you're going to earn fees inside the platform for liquid for any of the tokens that were sacrificed, Pulsex or Pulse or liquid loans, then you're going to earn the interest of it. So you might as well get more volume, and if the price goes up, you're going to win-win. You're going to win. Probably Views in the house. Nice work today. Hey, Probably View, good to see you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Good to see you on that one. And of course, Clint Draper says, do the liquid loan tokens increase in value, or does the value come from staking? The liquid loans value is determined by the market, Clinton. But obviously, as the platform does better, so will the value of loan tokens. People want to buy them. People want to buy them for the APY yield, but really it's going to be the amount of demand that's going through to get loans from the platform. It really is kind of, if the platform does well, then it will do well. Obviously, if Pulsechain does well, liquid loans should do well. They're not directly tied, but they're pretty closely tied. So yeah, Ashley Tree says value go up and down, up and down, up. Yeah, that's right, Ashley. You can swap for Hedron right in the MetaMask. You can do that, I believe. I haven't done that, but that's probably possible through the swap feature. And it probably costs you a bit though on the fees. But hey, we've been waiting for a MetaMask drop on the swap feature, right? People talked about the swap feature that if you did a swap through MetaMask, even though it costs you more, you would they'll probably do an airdrop. I don't think we've seen that airdrop at all, so nothing happening there. Brownie says it was a long one. Thanks again, Superman. Hey, most welcome, Brownie. MetaMask has high fees to trade. Yeah, it does. Yep. And we haven't seen the airdrop that people were speculating on. All right, we're in an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 48 minutes. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, if you want to get that 5% bonus for your referral, go register your wallet with the referral link in the video description. I've got a video show how to do that again. And of course, then go and sacrifice and get that 5% on your total sacrifice. Earlier pays better, longer pays better, and bigger pays better. It's going to be pretty cool. Things are looking really good. Even though we're having to wait for Pulsechain, we've got at least 1, 2, maybe 3 good quality sacrifices out there that are looking pretty valuable and should add a lot of value to the Pulsechain ecosystem. And of course, getting in early on those is probably a reasonable thing to do. Do your investment due diligence, of course. Really know what you're looking at. As I say, projects that are going to have big amount of investors, they're the ones that should be sustainable over time. And if they've got underlying good market fits, good products, then those two things go together, and they should bode for well for a big product. If you're getting into other stuff that may be very speculative, that's going to be an issue. And if you get into stuff that may be good at the moment but tank during a bear market, be very careful of those projects too. So, unless you're looking at being there for 2-3 days and just try and get a nice little pump at the beginning, otherwise I'd be very careful with your crypto bags. With obviously Richard Hart's projects, you're going to be able to, with Richard Hart's projects, you're going to be able to, this probability of winning on these is so huge that this is the awesome place to be, and potentially millions of people will be using this chain. It really is exciting. All right, cool. Let me just type in my thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. And bam. Hey, don't forget, I'm going to do a special live stream tonight. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We're going to be doing that tonight because I will be doing the final hour, closing hour of day 10 on liquid loans. I forgot about that. We're going to be doing that. A1 says 5 stars, brother. I appreciate that, A1. Big shout out to you. And yeah, it makes me feel like a Bintang bear hanging out with Matt and Maria and Bali at this stage. Salmon SB is there. Nice one. Great to see it. I love the emojis. Thanks for the stream, says Brasology. Woo-hoo-hoo, says Vinrex. Nice. And Astrid says, cheers. Hey, most welcome. Thanks. HT says, it's now. Hey, pleasure. All right, let me just type this. Thanks for watching. Bam. Hey, join me in a special live stream. Not many hours. Let's see. Actually, where is it? Before I get off, I've got to get off soon. Let's go and check this out. And bam, let's go to liquid loans. And how many hours? 5 hours and 6 hours. 6 hours time. I will be doing a live stream in 5 hours time. This is a special one. And just covering that last hour before it closes out. So join me for that. It's going to be pretty fun. Man, 34.3 million already on liquid loans. Going to be super good. All right, let's catch that later. Bam, let's paste it out. And let me just post some emojis. If you're a Hex Token channel member, post some emojis. If you're not a member, look, you can join. And of course, we've got Richard Hart. We've got Pulsechain's, Hexkin's Richard Hart Club. Let's close out the poll first. I just realized I got my poll. Let's end the poll and see what is in the final results there. And then I'm going to paste it out. Nice. Rocket Mob says, thanks for the info. As always, a one-stop shop. Hey, thanks, Rocket Mob. That's what I like to be. And of course, we're all about the Richard Hart Maxi here, that's for sure, because it's going to be awesome for all of us. Okay, so we've got our poll results. Have you sacrificed for liquid loans and or minted Hedron? We've got 104 votes, so big, awesome. I love it when we get over 100 votes. It's really cool. 104 votes, and we've got yes, 31% is completed both. So that's about 32 people have both sacrificed for liquid loans and completed and minted their Hedron, which is pretty amazing. We've got 31% have sacrificed for liquid loans, so that's a really good amount. And of course, not yet, but we'll soon. 21% has done. 21% will look to do that, and of course, just Hedron 15%. So really cool results there. Very nice. We've got a Russian bot just at the end there, which I'm going to get rid of. Let's report that one, and bam. All right, cool. Get rid of that. All right, awesome stuff, folks. And let's post some emojis on the way out. Here we go. Bam. 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. All right, take care, everybody out there. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. See you in 4 hours? Did I say 4 hours? 5 hours. See you in 5 hours time. 5 hours. All right, take care now. 5 hours. We're going.